Carpe Donktum joins us now. He's got a new studio there. And, well, let's just say he's got some new artwork, some new graphics he's working with here, folks. You'd think it's maybe like a Mortal Kombat background, except the two fighters are Alex Jones. And so I guess we're just going to be, I guess this is just it then. This is the next 30 minutes of the War Room. He's also drinking transparent Mountain Dew. Hold on. Did you even intentionally do this? This is like triple level, like triple layer art propaganda. The Mortal Kombat Jones characters behind you, and then the transparent Mountain Dew.
What about this? What about this? To add some snowflakes back there.
So you've got this new studio, and I guess you're just going to town, huh? You're just gonna really show us the works.
Well, I had to do something while you jabbering on there. So
like a Jabberwocky, huh?
Yeah.
So
one of the worst Monty Python films ever, by the way.
But seriously though, the new studio is awesome. I was watching you on with Alex. I love what you've done in the background there. But did you intentionally do the transparent Mountain Dew? I didn't realize.
Well, it's green, so.
Folks, he has access to the transparent Mountain Dew. Nobody else.
I'll show you the studio here. The studio is just my living room. So it's not actually.
No, you're actually in space with two interdimensional Alex Joneses behind you. We all know it.
Well, yeah, that's correct. I am actually in space.
It's on tape, so I know it. It has to be true. And so, but here's the thing. I have to kind of compete with this because I can't be having you steal all the glory. And so now I've got my own Alex Jones Mortal Kombat avatar. So I'm just saying, I mean, my Alex Jones versus your Alex Jones. I kind of like my Alex Jones. I've seen him. My Alex Jones lifts weights, 1,000 pounds right here in the studio too. So I don't know. I mean, you do have two Alex Jones. So I don't know. One of them is shirtless.
I could do that. I could do more. There's more.
I don't know if that's really fair. I really don't think that that's necessarily fair. So we'll have to do some market research to see how many Alex Jones is too many Alex Jones, or does a shirtless Alex Jones pull better than the vest Alex Jones or the collared shirt Alex Jones?
I think that there is never too much Alex Jones. I think that's something that you can't actually achieve.
We need to find out what Alex Jones pulls higher with the kids. All right, it's a Mortal Kombat video game. Is it the shirtless Alex Jones, the vest Alex Jones, the collared shirt Alex Jones? All right, we're having some fun here. It's Carpe Donktum. We always have fun. Now, you, though, put out what was really just a fun meme. I think everybody that watched it enjoyed it, except maybe Brian Stelter or Oliver Darcy.
Brian Stelter.
And you put up the meme.
Bad meme.
You put up the meme. Yeah, so Stelter says bad meme. A year later, by the way. And then they sue you for it. And so now you kind of have an idea when folks like, I mean, you've heard about our lawsuits. I've been involved in some of it. When you actually read the lawsuit, you're like, wow, this is a joke. You've now seen it firsthand. So talk about the lawsuit, what's in it, and allegedly why they sued you.
So the lawsuit is, it's just a joke. Number one, it's a joke lawsuit. It is accusing me and Donald Trump and the Trump campaign of violating these two toddlers that you're showing right now, their civil liberties, by taking the video that they themselves released and adding political context to it and turning it into satire or parody, whatever you want to call it. But it's political commentary. And they're saying that was a violation of their civil liberties and that they are owed damages for, all of the ones that are, I can't think of it right now, but it's the emotional damages and all of those things.
Even though nobody knows their name or identity or where they're from or anything like that.
People know their name.
But now it's been showed hundreds of millions of times. But now it's been viewed hundreds of millions of times, not because of you, because it's already been out there.
Yeah, they were in the lawsuit. I think they cite that it was seen 20 million times. I'm sure it was seen way more times than that when they put it out. And then went on CNN and CNN played it. That was, a year ago that they did that. The kids' names, I didn't publish their names. They were published over a year ago when the stories came out. They talked to every quote news outlet in the world about this thing, and now they're trying to say that it's not fair use or fair game to use something that was completely in the public sphere.
Now, is it really the parents doing this?
I don't know. I mean, they don't. I mean, they were very quick to go on CNN. They were. I think I had it he tweeted it out like on a weekday, and by Saturday night or Friday night, they were already on CNN with Don Lemon talking about suing me. So, but then it was at that time they were going to sue me for copyright infringement, which they did not actually end up doing
because they didn't have copyright, and it would have been they'd had to sue 5 million people.
Yeah. So that they abandoned the copyright lawsuit 2 months ago, or a month and a half ago, something like that. When I filed a counterclaim, they had 10 days to bring a lawsuit and show Twitter proof that they had filed it, and they declined to do that within the set time frame, which is basically an admission that they couldn't prove it in court, and that they would lose that lawsuit. And now they are taking basically what is a copyright lawsuit, and they're pretending like it's a civil liberties lawsuit, because the entire thing is structured the same way that you would write a copyright thing. They're talking about copyright issues. They're just avoiding saying the actual word.
And I think your inclination that you mentioned earlier, that this is really just to put out negative headlines, Trump sued, or Carpe Donktum sued, like it's just they love those headlines. But then inside the actual documents that you received, it talks about, it makes sure to remind you how bad Trump is, right?
Yeah. They do some editorializing in there where they just sort of add some random things that they don't like about Trump, and then they don't even really address how it's relevant. But I assume that they'll try and argue those things if it ever gets that far. But the entire lawsuit is really just something that they can post and say, "Hey, look at me! I sued the Trump campaign. I sued a guy from Kansas that has Alex Jones backgrounds." That's really what this is all about. It's a headline. It's like any other.
And I think beyond that, though, if there was any, beyond the surface, it's literally CNN, though. It's actually CNN so pissed about this, and crybabies like Don Lemon and Oliver Darcy and Brian Stelter, and they just can't have them being embarrassed like this. And so my guess would be, I mean, I don't know this, is that they were the ones that really wanted this. They were the ones that kind of fueled it. Maybe they already knew the parents, maybe the parents' politics align with them at CNN.
Well, I don't know if I should say this, but the lawyer that's representing them is a personal injury lawyer. So he's literally an ambulance chaser. So I'm guessing he probably approached them.
Interesting.
And said, hey, we'll represent you. But I think it's important to note and interesting to note that the story is that the video was negative, but in CNN's coverage of the video, they did exactly what the video says, and they only showed the first 9 seconds where there's where it's the chasing part. It doesn't show the part that actually.
It's like the total completion of your irony. Like the irony is exactly. CNN spews an event with an angle. That's the whole meme of how they lie about events with their skewed angle. And then they literally do that to you over the video that proves that they do it. I mean, it's the completion of irony. It's full circle. Carpe Donktum is in space, and he found planet Hillary. It's a zany planet, but he's brave enough to go there. Wow. So he's being sued now for a popular meme. CNN is a bunch of crybabies, and this is just what they do, folks. And the whole thing is, quite frankly, laughable. But this is what they do. This is what they do to effective people. This is what they do to the people who want to fight the establishment and are effective at it. They just have frivolous litigation to try to bog you down and destroy your morale. I don't think that's going to work against Carpe Donktum, but let's ask him. The intention of this is certainly to bog you down and destroy your morale. Is it working from Planet Hillary?
I don't think it's working, and I think it's gonna fail spectacularly because it's at this point I'm seriously considering and looking into countersue or getting compensation for. This was another thing that was in the lawsuit was that they admitted to filing a fraudulent DMCA takedown, which is what got my account banned. So I don't think that's a good thing that you should put into your lawsuit unless you want to get countersued for, the value of a Twitter account that had 273,000 followers on it.
And was getting retweeted by the president and was gaining followers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was gaining followers at a rate that I had, never seen before because it was, on social media, things like that snowball. The more the people that you have, the more followers you get faster and faster. But yeah, I was on a very upward trajectory, and now we're not on Twitter anymore at all. So,
we are the fallen, brother.
I think that the other part of this is that this lawfare stuff that's going on with the left is all about it's all about just bankrupting people. We can look at Roger Stone or Michael Flynn, and the point of that whole exercise was basically just to bankrupt allies of the president, and then they can point to that and say, hey, are you sure you really want to support this president? Because look what happened to his buddies. Mm-hmm. His buddies all go broke and get arrested in the middle of the night by a SWAT team. So I mean, it's a warning. This is all warnings to people that would be willing to say what they think is right and what is true.
And that's why the victorious stance to take on this is for other Americans to fight back, get louder and more active. That's why they try to do this, to encourage you to sit at home and, not be effective. But the answer is to get in their face, get loud, don't be intimidated. And that leads to their ultimate destruction. It's very distracting, okay, having to deal with Carpe Donktum on Planet Hillary, that Alex Jones has now invaded Planet Hillary. So it's a whole thing.
All right, fine. I'll get rid of them so that you can I actually turned on the other one. Sorry, my bad.
No, see, this is what happens in Carpe Donktum's new studio, folks. You end up with 10 Hillary heads floating in space. Confused
at some point,
and disoriented.
Can we have an interview where one of us isn't getting sued or being in trouble for something? Can we do that at some point?
Doubtful.
Highly
doubtful. Right. They'll definitely.
I always enjoy talking to you, but we always meet under the worst of times. It's like, oh, you got banned from Twitter today. Yeah. Oh, you got arrested on Capitol Hill today. Okay, great.
Well, remember, we used to say we were going to take in an I-70 series together. Carpe Donktum from Kansas City. I'm from St. Louis. Cardinals Royals. It's a fun rivalry there. The I-70 series. We said this year we were going to take in an I-70 series and a few Bud Lights. Well, we can't do that now, so that's canceled.
Oh no. I mean, we could, but I think that would end up in us getting arrested.
True. I mean, we could just we could just go into Kauffman Stadium and just drink some beers.
Yeah, I think they frown upon that.
It's been done.
Let you swim in the fountain over there.
The fountain's a good time. I've been there very late at night. You can swim in that. It's okay.
As your lawyer, I strongly suggest you not talk about swimming in Kauffman Stadium fountain.
Actually, the Kauffman Stadium fountain is a COVID killer. The water in there kills COVID. So simply hop in the fountain. See, now someone hops in the fountain, I get sued for promoting that. See how that works?
Yeah. No, it's this was a great idea to do this.
Well, it's the only way we can do it because, well, I don't even know. I mean, I don't even want to watch any sports anymore. What they've done, politicizing them to the point of just leftist indoctrination.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Chiefs. I don't plan on watching them as long as they keep doing stuff like that. So, I mean, if they want to just ruin sports, I guess that's up to them. I can find something.
You are in Kansas City, so I should ask you this because people need to understand the Kansas City Chiefs is one of the most popular football franchises. I mean, they sell out the Arrowhead Stadium, 70,000 strong every Sunday, whether the team has 0 wins or 10. And they were Super Bowl champions. I mean, they come back to open the NFL season. They had 16,000 seats available. Only 6,000 people got seats. I mean, that's just so awful. The ratings were way down. I mean, are people in Kansas City? Yeah, I mean, that's a normal Kansas City football game before the leftist indoctrination and then the COVID shutdown. So it's a total failure. But are people in Kansas City, are they talking like, yeah, we're not watching the NFL anymore, or what's up?
Well, I mean, I think it just depends on what circles you run in. There's a lot of people that don't care. I think there are a bunch of people that I think there are some fans that have been turned off by all of it. But there's the thing about like football and sports and stuff like that is it's really a sort of a nonpartisan thing. There's a lot of people that would identify as liberal or conservative that go to the games, especially in a city that has a football stadium like that. It's really a mixed crowd. Like I know lots of people that are diehard fans and they're not fans of the president, so they wouldn't care if Black Lives Matter and things like that are put on helmets and the names of people who assaulted women and raped somebody is put on a football.
Yeah,
helmet.
the pedo helmets, the rape helmets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to find new ways to end concussions in the NFL. We didn't realize you just put a rapist on the helmet, or you put a known criminal drug addict on the helmet. All of a sudden, your concussion it disappears.
It's a miracle drug.
It's unbelievable. Liberalism is now solving COVID by jumping in the Kaufman fountain, and now liberalism on an NFL helmet is solving people from getting concussions. Amazing. Carpe Doctum.
I wanted to tell you, by the way, I saw you, or I heard you during one of the protests. You were driving in a very armored vehicle through the streets of Austin, I believe.
Yeah, when they attacked
several
me
months ago.
When they tried to murder me.
Yeah, when they attacked you. Yeah, I recognized your voice immediately. I was like, oh my God, Owen's in there. Don't hurt Owen.
Well, don't you know I was saying something so controversial that USA was great and that we just went to space. We should all come together. I mean, how dare I?
Yeah, I mean, that was awful. I
was literally like, Carpe Doctum's in space. We could all join him right now, but instead you're attacking a random vehicle. And they just wanted, they didn't want to come. All right, Carpe Doctum, where can people follow you?
You can find me on Parler. You can find me on Locals. You can find me on CloudHub. You can find me on everywhere except for Twitter.
On Planet Carpe.